welcome back to my channel. Uh, and welcome back to predictions. This is post week 14 before week 15, so it's week 15. And yeah, starting off, we have our Thursday night football game. We have the Chiefs, who are currently 9-4, at the Chargers, who are currently 8-5. Winner of this game will take over in the division and potentially move higher up in the playoff rankings, while the other will go down lower. The Chiefs, they've been playing red hot lately. And the Chargers, they've been stringing it together slowly. Even with the injury of, some of their best players, they're still stringing it together. And they're also finding some consistency. I think this game probably will be super, super close. But I am going to take the Chiefs to win. Next, we have Saturday, 4:30 p.m. Our first Saturday game of the season. And we have two of them this week. We have the Washington football team, who are currently 6-7, at the Philadelphia Eagles, who are currently 6-7. Washington is currently the 7th seed in the NFC, so realistically, they have a lot to play for. And the Eagles, I believe, are either 8 or 9. They also have a lot to play for. I'm going to take the Eagles to win, though. Washington, they pulled off a near upset over the Cowboys. And the Eagles, they were on a bye week. I feel like the Eagles are going to be well rested on their bye. They will probably have a bit of QB controversy with Gardner Minshew and Jalen Hurts, but I do feel like they'll string it together and win this game somewhat dominantly. Next, we have our second Saturday game. We have 8:15 p.m. We have the Raiders, who are currently 6-7, at the Browns, who are currently 7-6. The Raiders, they're last in their division. It's looking very slim now for them to win their division. I believe they would need to win out and the Chiefs to lose out, and some extra scenarios. And the Browns, they're so close to being in the playoffs. They're currently the 8th seed, so they're right on the edge. They're looking in. And they're second in their division, I believe half a game maybe behind the Ravens in the division. Yeah. But the Browns currently are riddled with injuries. Not really injuries, but COVID, which does suck. I hope all the players get well, and we don't have to experience any tragedies because of COVID, because COVID is a pain to deal with. But I am going to go with the Raiders, though. If you hear me all the time, you say, if you have 8 wins, or not wins, losses or more in the AFC, you're practically done with how stacked it is at this point. Like, it's mind-boggling. But I am going to take the Raiders to keep their playoff hopes alive. Next, we have the Jets, who are currently 3-10, at the Dolphins, who are currently 6-7. The Jets did the Jets. They lost. They got eliminated last week from the playoffs, which does suck, but at the same time, you can't really do anything. They lost pretty badly, 30-9. Gonna be tough to get over. And the Dolphins, they had a bye week. The Dolphins, excuse me. They seem pretty hot. They started out this season 1-0, then went down, lost 7 straight to go to 1-7. Now all of a sudden they're heating up. They're now 6-7. They've won 5 straight, and they're looking to get into the playoffs after their heartbreaking last year, where they just missed out. But I am going to take the Jets, though. I feel like the Jets, even though they're eliminated, it is going to be very hard to get the number 1 overall pick from the Lions. And then, obviously, there's the Jaguars and Texans who do play this week. So, one of them's going to at least get a win. Hopefully, maybe a tie. So, it's going to be pretty hard for the Jets to really improve their draft pick besides, like, one spot. Because, obviously, like, the Texans or Jags will have to win. And I do believe the Jets actually play the Jags later in the season. So, but I'm going to take the Jets to win because I feel like they're going to go into this game full-hearted trying to know that technically it won't eliminate the Dolphins from the playoffs, but it'll definitely make it a lot harder for them to make it. Next, we have our Panthers, who are currently 5-8, at our Bills, who are currently 7-6. Panthers lost to the Falcons in a pretty heartbreaking game. Panthers also made a huge mistake on bringing back Cam Newton at the moment. He's not playing very well. He had a very good first game against the Cardinals where he didn't really do much besides run the ball and throw like a 1-yard, 2-yard touchdown pass. But I feel like PJ Walker currently is the best quarterback on that team because I do not know Sam Darnold's health. And Cam Newton is playing like a washed quarterback. And Bills are currently 7-6. Bills gave it their all against Tom Brady, starting off abysmal. They then brought it back, brought into overtime, and the rest being the rest, gave Tom Brady the win. But if you ask me, the Panthers, they're still very well alive in the playoff race, but a loss will more than likely eliminate them. But I am going to take the Bills. I feel like the Bills, they're currently the 7th seed in the AFC. They are hanging on with dear life for their playoff spot, and I feel like they're going to keep hanging on because they're going to win. Next, we have the Patriots, who are currently 9-4, at the Colts, who are currently 7-6. The Patriots, they had a bye week, and the Colts had a bye week. Well, that's kind of awkward. The Patriots are currently the 1 seed in the AFC. They're playing like they should be with a rookie quarterback, I may add. And the Colts, they're playing pretty hot. They're 7-6. They're currently the 6th seed in the AFC. They're also playing very well. Jonathan Taylor seems to be the best running back in the league at the moment. Because, unfortunately, Derrick Henry is out for the season. And he was so close to 1,000 rushing yards. And the Colts have a new quarterback at the helm in Carson Wentz, but he is familiar to Frank Reich's system. I do feel like the Colts are going to pull off the upset. I feel like the Ravens are flying so high, even though Bill Belichick is the guy to make sure to let his team know, do not look ahead. We're focusing on the one game at a time. Because, he will punish those. He'll pull them out the game, give them a hard time, constantly yell at them. But I feel like the Colts, they're now in the playoff race after starting out horribly. And I feel like they're going to do the most of it. Next, we have the Cowboys, who are currently 9-4, I believe. Yes, they are. At the Giants, who are currently 4-9. Cowboys are currently a 4 seed in the NFC, leading their division. And I do believe they are so close to clinching it. I believe if they get a win and an Eagles loss, I believe they clinch their division. It may just be a win or an Eagles loss as well. Yeah. But and the Giants, they're 4-9. They are still technically in the playoff race, but they're more than likely out of it. I'm gonna take the Cowboys to win, though. I feel like the Cowboys are the better team. Their record says it all, and they're looking to seal the division. Next, we have the Texans and Jaguars. Both teams currently 2-11. These teams have played once before this season, and the Texans won. The Texans, they came off of a somewhat bad loss against the Seahawks. It was shocking, how they actually held in there for a beginning. And the Jaguars put up a donut against the Titans. If you don't know what that means, it means they scored 0 points. Already Trevor Lawrence looks like he's not their guy, but it is his rookie season, so we gotta expect more. And plus, pretty hard to do a good rookie season when you are having a new head coach who's known for college football, and he's been removed from it for I don't know how long. And you don't really have a good team around you besides a pretty average wide receiver core. You don't really have any standouts, but at the same time, the people you have aren't terrible. And when your best player on offense, arguably, is not getting playing time because the head coach thinks he's so smart. I'm going to take the Texans, though. I feel like the Texans personally do not really care about their draft pick as much because, at this point in time, the Texans could really use anyone, so, I mean, wherever their draft pick is will be good for them. Because you could basically draft a long snapper in the 7th round, and you'd still freaking improve. I'm taking the Texans. Next, we have the Titans, who are currently 9-4, at the Steelers, who are currently 6-1. The Titans, they are also getting close to clinching their division. I believe they clinch with a win and a Colts loss. And the Steelers, they're looking to keep their playoff hopes alive as they are currently like the 10th seed, but they are only like half a game away. Well, not half a game. They're like a bunch of teams' losses and them a win. So it's very doable with 3 weeks left. And I am going to personally take the Steelers. With the Steelers with that tie, I feel like once they reach 7 losses, they are eliminated. So they're going to have to play extremely well in order to, I'd say probably give Big Ben his last 2 off. Next, we have the Packers, who are currently 9-4, at the Ravens, who are currently 8-5. As I am recording this, there is no real news on Lamar Jackson besides it is a day-to-day, injury, so he will not be ruled, good or bad until, probably, either the day before or, an hour before game time. So I cannot really predict. And I will probably change my pick depending on if Lamar is ruled in or out. But I am taking the Ravens, personally. The Ravens, they're holding on for dear life in their division. Every time, they lost, they get a break with the Bengals, who are right there with them, losing the game. And now they also have to worry about the Browns, who are right there with them. The Packers, they pretty much have their division on lock. I believe they need a win or a Vikings loss to be good. But at the same time, the Packers are currently the 1 seed, and they don't want to, lose that because the 1 seed is so valuable. Next, we have the Cardinals, who are currently 10-3, at the Lions, who are currently 11-1. They conveniently have 4 1s in their record. The Cardinals played a very, very, very good game against the Rams, but unfortunately lost. And the Lions did what the Lions did. They had a 1 in 2 million or billion or whatever chance of making the playoffs. And before the game even ended, or I practically started, they got eliminated from the playoffs because I believe the Falcons beat the Panthers, which was the killing blow from. But they lost anyway, so it doesn't really matter. I'm going to take the Cardinals to win. I feel like the Cardinals, if they lose this game, it will be very embarrassing. And it would make their journey for the 1 seed even harder because the Packers do have the head-to-head over them. And I believe currently the Buccaneers, I don't think they've played each other yet, but apparently the Buccaneers have the advantage. Because All I know about the playoffs is it goes by head-to-head, so if you guys played each other. Then I believe it goes by division, so like how you're doing in the division. And then conference, you know, like the teams in the NFC or AFC, whatever, division you're in. And then common opponents. So if the Cardinals and Buccaneers both played the Cowboys, for example, like if the Buccaneers lost and the Cardinals won, the Cardinals would have the head-to-head at that point. But I'm going to take the Cardinals. Next, we have our 405 games. We have two of them. We have the Bengals, who are currently 7-6, at the Broncos, who are currently 7-6. Bengals came off a heartbreaking loss against the 49ers. They nearly pulled the game back. They just unfortunately could not seal it, and they did seem to have a lot, and I mean a lot, of special team issues. I believe it got so bad they were down to their fourth stringer and Tyler Boyd, because I believe their returners go from Brandon Wilson, who is currently injured. He's out for the season. Then is Darius Phillips, who what seemed like played through an injury. Then it was Stanley Morgan, but I don't know. Like, I don't really think they like him that much in terms of that. I think he's just meant to be a blocker and stuff. And then it's Tyler Boyd. But yeah. The Broncos, they beat the Lions. And quickly, before we actually talk about that game, in the first play of the game, they elected to only have 10 men on the field. They let it go to delay the game, and the Lions declined the penalty. In honor of Demaryius Thomas, who did unfortunately pass away a few days ago, RIP. So, really good sportsmanship from both teams, honoring someone. And the Lions, which would have gave them an advantage for accepting that penalty, but instead they elected to decline it. So I just thought that was really nice. But I am going to take the Bengals to win. I feel like the Bengals, they're more alive in the division than the Broncos are, so they're going to be looking to, win this game a bit more. But the Broncos shouldn't really. They're also fighting for a playoff spot. They're like the 10 seed, I believe. I know it goes. Browns are 8, Bengals are 9, Broncos are 10. So 11 would be what team? The Steelers, maybe. And then 12 would be Raiders. 13 would be Dolphins. It's mind-boggling how many teams are like alive in the playoffs. Like, instead of the NFC, where essentially they're all just fighting for the 7 seed and potentially the 6 seed, because, I mean, the 49ers aren't really cleared yet. Like, they could all win, like, have a chance at winning their division, and even the 1 seed. I'm going to take the Bengals out. Our second and final 4:05 p.m. game of this week, we have the Falcons, who are currently 6-7, at the 49ers, who are currently 7-6. The Falcons, they kept their playoff chances alive, well, a lot better than the Panthers by beating the Panthers. And the 49ers, they beat the Bengals to keep them in the playoffs. I think they would have been in the playoffs anyway, actually. But they're the 6th seed at 7-6. I am going to take the Falcons, though. I feel like the Falcons are going to surprise the 49ers. The 49ers lastly didn't really focus on a run game, which was what they're known for, besides Deebo Samuel, who popped off. It seems like that the Falcons can stop Deebo Samuel and George Kittle. I feel like their front four in Grady Jarrett, who I actually don't know if he's healthy or not. I feel like their front four could really cause some damage in the run game. So I'm going to take the Falcons. Next, our one and only 4:25 p.m. game, we have the Seattle Seahawks, who are currently 5-8, and the Los Angeles Rams, who are currently 9-4. The Seahawks, they've been keeping their hopes alive. With a win over the Texans. And the Rams, they pulled off a surprising upset, but I predicted upset in the Rams Cardinals game, where they won 30-23. I do believe the Cardinals do hold the advantage over them though, because the Rams have lost 2 division games, one to the 49ers, and the Cardinals have only lost one. Oh, the Rams they lost 2, one to the Cardinals early in the season and one to the 49ers. Cardinals only lost one, and that was to the Rams. But I am going to take the Seahawks when I feel like the Seahawks are going to keep their playoff chances alive. Yeah, it would be pretty sick to see a whole division make the playoffs. We may see that with a few of them, honestly, with the AFC West, the AFC North, and the NFC West, and potentially the NFC South as well, and the NFC East, I guess. But I'm going to take the Seahawks, keeping their playoff chances alive. Next, we have our Sunday Night Football. I don't remember the name. Carrie Underwood, I believe, sings it. Waiting all day for Sunday night. They play the Saints and Buccaneers play. So people won't expect this really, but this is going to be a sneakily good game. The Saints currently 6-7, and the Buccaneers currently 10-3. The Buccaneers looking to seal the division with this win, as the Saints are the only team who can take the division. If the Buccaneers lose out and the Saints win out, the Saints would get the division. And the Buccaneers, I mean, if they win this game, they will seal the division. But the Saints, last time these two teams played, Saints beat them with Trevor Siemian as their quarterback. So this game could be sneakily good, honestly. But I do think the Saints will win this game. I feel like the Buccaneers are going to kind of be like, well, it would be cool to win against our division rival, but at the same time, well, they are playing for the 1 seed. That's also to consider. You know, they only have to win one more game in order to make their division, and they practically just need like the Washington to lose, I think, or them to win in order to clinch a playoff spot. So the Buccaneers have it pretty easy, but I'm gonna say the Saints in last, potentially at least, but I don't think so. I think that Texans Jaguars game is gonna be pretty least. We have the Vikings currently 6-7 at the Bears, who are currently 4-9. Vikings, they came off of a Thursday night football win against the Steelers. They almost choked it away, but they just didn't. And the Bears, they came off of a loss on Sunday Night Football against the Packers, where they played a dominant first half, but just couldn't quite, win the second half. I'm going to take the Bears to win, though. I feel like the Bears, they're a loss away in my eyes from being eliminated from the playoffs, even though they technically aren't. Because, unless if you're the Lions, you're probably not going to be eliminated from the playoffs until the last week. So I feel like the Bears are going to want to keep their playoff hopes alive, and they are going to do just that. So, a quick update. I did go 10-4 last week, and bringing my personal record to 123, 84, and 1. And a quick recap, I am picking the Chiefs, Eagles, Raiders, Jets, Bills, Colts, Cowboys, Texans, Steelers, Ravens, Cardinals, Bengals, Falcons, Seahawks, Saints, and Bears to win. And I am picking the Chargers, Washington, Browns, Dolphins, Panthers, Patriots, Giants, Jaguars, Titans, Packers, Lions, Broncos, 49ers, Rams, Buccaneers, and Vikings to lose. And quickly before I end the video, make sure to follow all my social medias, whether it's Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, or YouTube. They are all YoshiZ_YZ. But I may have to change it soon because apparently, I don't know why or what. Apparently like an inappropriate username. Now, I don't know how or why, but if it is, it is. So, if I by any chance have to change it, I will, but I won't until, I am told I have to. So if you want to follow my YouTube, you get to see videos I do all the time. I do weekly predictions, tier lists, and power rankings, and then I also do a Falcons franchise. But when the regular season, and I believe I will do the wild card and the divisional in terms of power rankings and tier lists. But once we get to the championship game and the Super Bowl, I will only be doing predictions after that because, I can't really just do 4 teams. Yeah. I won't really necessarily do a video, honestly. I might just post on Twitter who I'm going to take to win. And that's the thing for my Twitter. For my Twitter, you'll get notified when I do post a video. So if you do not want to subscribe with notifications on my YouTube, you can go follow me with notifications on my Twitter, and I'll, post when I'm posting a video. Next, my Instagram, it's just there if you want to follow it. It's kind of just, something I don't really use. And finally, my Twitch. That's why I stream games that aren't related to, like, Madden and stuff. Like, my Falcon franchise, that's, like, the only Madden series I do besides this. So, like, I'll occasionally do, like, a Madden rebuild or, like, a franchise on there, just, like, playing games. Now that Among Us is out on PS5, I have been streaming that. I have already streamed that. I do stream Minecraft occasionally. So, yeah, you can go over there if you want to watch, some games I can't really make videos on. But with everything said, I hope you guys enjoyed. I did, and I'll see you guys next time.